The entire hearing focused on her personality, on her ethics, and went into a number of different areas, and I want to pick out a couple of the key ones because the FTC very much in focus for what's seen as its anti-big tech agenda, its desire to break up some of these big companies, and a big part of the hearing focused on Twitter. And a bit of background about this: the FTC and Twitter have had a long-standing feud since 2011, when the FTC made a settlement with Twitter over allegations that the company didn't protect user data. It was then barred for 20 years. From misleading. It's not allowed to mislead consumers about the extent to which their data is protected and the data protection practices it's got in place. Last year, that order was updated as well after the former Twitter head of security made some allegations about Twitter's alleged lax data practices. Now, the background as well is that in March, the FTC investigated Elon Musk regarding the amount of layoffs that were taking place and actually how that relates to this agreement. They allegedly tried to obtain internal communications from Twitter as part of this privacy investigation. So that was the backdrop for all this questioning about Twitter. And the Republican Congress committee chair accused Lina Khan of harassing Twitter. He asked if there was political motivation behind it, and he said that the FTC had ramped up enforcement since Musk took over. It was a pretty spicy sound bite between the two. Let's just listen into what happened.
Our staff are consummate professionals. When they conduct these investigations, they're focused on determining whether there was a violation.
Is your attack on Twitter, harassment on Twitter, is that based on the fact that all kinds of Democrats have asked you to do this, and frankly, some things that you've written about dealing with, quote, disinformation? Does that have anything to do with it, Ms. Khan?
Congressman, we make only independent determinations about whether there were law violations.
The statement from Chairman Nadler, the statements from the letter, the press release and the letter from 7 Democrat senators that had no impact on it, that's not why you're doing it?
Absolutely not. We look very closely at the specific matter at hand. Again,
12 demand letters in 10 weeks telling the independent assessor, hey, put your finger on the scale. This is the results we want. That's not harassment, and it had nothing to do with the fact that every Democrat in this town seemed to be telling you to go after Twitter.
Our focus is on protecting people's privacy and security. Twitter has sensitive data on 150 million Americans, including private messages. We need to make sure, especially given its history going all the way back to 2010, we're doing everything to make sure Twitter is complying with the order.
That's fine. Don't put your finger on the scale, and don't attack the First Amendment and the rights of journalists.
Now, Lina Khan defended the agency's handling of this Twitter case, saying they're not concerned who owns the company, whether it's Elon Musk or someone else. They've had an issue with Twitter for more than a decade now, and they're just concerned, really, about the concentration of power. Now, just another note, just before this hearing, Twitter actually filed a lawsuit to end or modify that 2011 FTC suit. So make of it what you will about the timing. But Twitter has said that this investigation into the company by the FTC, quote, had spiraled out of control and become tainted by bias. They said this order from 2011 was a misfit consent order and that the FTC was, quote, overreaching as well. FTC is trying to depose Elon Musk as well. So that's what happened with Twitter.